No, not yet. I will get to it. I will see Terminator 2. After I master Age of Empires 2, it's on the docket.
Ah, yes. Once you become the world's greatest video game player.
Once I become
Isn't Age of Empires 4 out?
It is, but it's not as popular as AoE 2. AoE 2 still has a huge fan base for what it is, for how old it is.
Which one did I download with you guys and got my ass kicked? Did I do that? Did I get my ass kicked from one of you guys, or just downloaded and got my ass kicked by the computer?
If it was, we never played Age of Empires together. Kyle, did we play Company of Heroes?
Kyle,
You're muted. But did we play Company of Heroes with Harley? Was that it? Was it a tank game?
Maybe Total War Warhammer even?
Yeah. That's what it was. We had horses, all these horses on the mountain.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at that. That there's a couple games that I've played enough that I'm like, yeah, I fuck people up at this game. That's one of them. Like I've played that game so many hours. See, that's what's interesting about how you game though. I see you playing on those games. Like I can't be bothered. Like I don't want to play a bunch of different games. I want like one to obsess over.
Mm-hmm.
One to
I obsess for like a couple days, and then the next one. Like and that's why it is weird. Sometimes like if it says I'm playing a game, it might just be on the menu, and I'll be like, I'll play you soon. And then I don't. I really loved Ready or Not and Squad. And I got into all those like super.
I don't know what Ready or Not.
Did you have a good group for Squad, or are you playing solo, like just out in the world?
I go in and I threaten people. I'm always like, yo, I'm new at this. Talk to me like I'm your friend and include me, or I'm going to go play Battlefield, and you guys need as many players as possible to still be into this game. So make me feel comfortable.
Yeah,
I literally say shit like that, and people are like, "Okay, bud, come on, join Foxtrot. We're Tank Squad."
Yeah,
just look out this window to the left, and if you see someone, let me know.
Dude, I was like, it's so funny when you're trying to get people into games that like don't have a steep learning curve, and like this happened literally last night. Me and a bunch of my buddies were playing Age of Empires 2. Like the max lobby count is 8, and we had probably 7 people in there. And one person, one of our buddies, we finally convinced him to download it and play. He's like, "Oh, I haven't played that since I was a kid." And I was like, "All right, well, it's more complicated than you remember, but hop on." And I was like, "All right." You know, I'm telling him what to do throughout the game, and I'm telling everyone like, "Don't fucking attack him. Don't attack him. Don't. If anybody goes over there, and if I scroll over his base and I see someone attacking, I'm going to lose it because." There's nothing more frustrating than starting an RTS game and being like, "Oh, my guy's collecting berries from the bush. Oh no, like archers on the horizon, fucking my shit up." And like you're just like, and meanwhile he's asking questions like, "Oh, lumber camp near the trees." I'm like, yes, lumber camp near the trees. And I look over there, and my buddy, he's like, after like 10 minutes, because my new friend didn't know enough to announce when he was being attacked. He's like, "This sucks. I got like no villagers left." I'm like, "What? It's so early in the game." I go over there, and my buddy Tyler, who is not one of like the best of us, was like teeing off on him. And I'm like, "You son of a bitch." Like he's having no fun. You killed all his villagers. You ruined his time.
Dude,
now
apparently,
he's not going to play.
I never do this. I never ever like look up the meta in a game or what is the best thing to do in a game. And I always feel like it fucks up the experience. And I just go in and my logic is I play a game like Call of Duty. The first gun they give me is always going to be good, because if I just bought this game, then the first gun that I have is going to be decent enough. Because why would they give me a shit gun? Why would they want me to lose? They'll give me something that I could get kills with just at the beginning. So I never go in deep, but I started playing so much Warzone that like you're at a disadvantage unless you know what the fuck is going on, like with what people do and shit like that. And so the first time I ever clicked a video to change options in the game, and I always go to options myself, but they're all like, gotta have automatic tack sprint on, you have to change to tactical bumper jumper, flip your triggers and your bumpers for the buttons, you want doors to open, apply all your plates if you hold, and all these things. And I never got into that, but I watched a couple of videos, and so I got in deep. And what you're describing is apparently an issue in Call of Duty that people have conspiracies about, that really? Like if you get into a Modern Warfare lobby and you're ripping it and you're killing people, there's conspiracies that the game is going to have like packet dumps on you because you're too good and you're ruining the experience for new players. So they're going to fuck you up in little sneaky ways. That's what these videos are saying. That's how deep I got. I never once played the game was like, "Hey, I'm killing it too hard. They're doing this or that." But I did get booted twice from a lobby, and it was really bizarre. One
after
time
really big games.
No, one time I like was killing it. I got like 6 kills extremely fast and it kicked me out and I was very furious about it. And then another time I was downed and I was crawling. I was moving and I got kicked for inactivity and I was like doing pretty well that one. But I wasn't like, oh, I'm too sick. They're kicking me. But when I saw this video, I was like, oh shit. Is that if this is how people are thinking and which you're describing? But now this is where I'm at. What's that?
Do you believe it?
There's got to be some shit that they do behind the scenes. Like, I don't believe that it's necessarily exactly what I'm saying, but they got to have so much psychological understanding for us as gamers. Because I'll play a game like a headshot noise or a sound effect. That sound effect that is chosen is so satisfying in a lot of games that I'm like, they know what the fuck they did.
Yeah.
In like every game. So there must be shit that goes on in the background, especially a game like Call of Duty, where they want you to spend more time there. People were saying in the past, and this guy said he said this in this video, but he didn't have the proof because he had lost it, but he said it was in one of his older videos. If anyone remembers, link him to it. But he was saying, depending on how many Call of Duty points you have in your bank account, like in your Call of Duty bank account that you bought, depending on how many are in there, the items in the store will be cheaper or more expensive. Cheaper if you have less points. So you'd be more inclined to buy it. Like, that would be dirty if it was true and it's an alleged thing, but I wouldn't put this type of stuff past games.
Or maybe like you get odd amounts of points. Like, let's say instead of 500, you have 400 and the cheapest thing is 500. And they're like, dude, like,
and you want 400 points. You can't buy 100 points at a time or something like that.
Yeah, and it's all digital goods. So why wouldn't they, for you, roll your fucking thing down to 400 points, take everything you have, and then you'll re-up?
Because your ROI, like you're already like 100 points in. I might as well just fucking, this 100 points has been sitting here. I already, Yeah, I see all that, but then I'm fucking playing Call of Duty as Timothy Chalamet.
Is that the only
I never
game?
liked that.
Like, is that the only evergreen game for you that you always end up going back to?
No, I think if you really like a video game, you want it to be taken care of as much as like Fortnite is. Like, I believe as gay as Fortnite as people find it to be, or they connect it to like some loser YouTuber with like silver hair or whatever, like something like that, like whatever it is that people, if that game was called Ready Player One, I think a lot more 40-year-olds like us or whatever, 30 to 40 would be more inclined to play the game. But Fortnite is just like, you think of like these dumb dances, these autistic
Does Fortnite
children
have a bad
screaming.
I don't even know enough about Fortnite to know that it has a bad.
You don't know the
reputation.
dances? You don't know?
I know that it has emotes. Tons of game have emotes.
You've seen children flossing for the last decade, though, right? Like, way too young.
You saw Ninja
in public,
flossing at New Year's.
Are they still doing that?
This game. Well, I'm talking about a decade ago. That's its cultural impact. It's been annoying people for a decade now. It's
a much bigger cultural impact than Avatar.
Yes,
that's fair. Yeah,
no one does the Navi dance.
I can't believe the Navi are not as playable characters in Fortnite. It's really crazy.
They'd be terrible with the hitboxes.
Wasn't a lot of outcry for that, I guess.
No,
this game that I linked here, this is the future. Have you heard of this? It's a Civil War.
I just saw that. It looks like it's so cinematic.
So fire. Is this like Hell Let Loose vibes? Because that's what I've been playing that a lot too lately.
But with lots of role play. So this is called War of Rights. It is a Civil War game.
Yo, look at all these idiots.
Dude,
are you a guy that can hold a flag and not do anything else? Because that's sick. And you just buff the people around you, and you're just holding a flag.
Banjo guy. You could be the banjo guy if you want. Like there's.
Oh, you can be a bard.
If you see the videos, people are role playing as like Confederates, and they're all doing their accents and sometimes being a little racist. And it's like a real hoop.
Yeah, I hope so. When in Rome, like I want a little bit of racism in my Confederate game, right?
Yeah. For Nikki Haley.
For states' rights. Like I don't want that. I want
states' rights to do what? There's no telling.
Where the
do
fuck
you own
we
slaves? No, I'm poor as shit. Do you? Me neither. But let's fuck these Yanks up. Let's get them. That'd be good.
I've been playing those games where you're like have a whole like Hell Let Loose or whatever, and so there's squads and the squad leaders could talk to each other, and there's a commander who talks to all the squad leaders. And I don't like being a squad leader or the commander. I like to be a medic, and I like to just do what I'm told. because I find in life a lot I've been like, like a captain in my football team or whatever. Maybe because I'm outspoken, I find myself in these leadership positions. When I play video games, I just want to be a fucking grunt. So I always do it. And then the responsibility is never, no, someone's not doing it or they're not talking. And after a couple games, I'll end up as a squad leader or as a commander. And I'm higher ranked as commander because I'm always like that so vocal in these games. Yeah. It's not what I want to do, but it's like it's what I'm pretty good at in the game. Even like just, this just funny scenario. Telling people to keep their comms clean when they're having fun playing a video game is funny. Because like they're still, they're trying to have fun, but like it's also like I know you guys are having fun. I appreciate that, but there's 64 other dudes on this team and they want to win. They don't necessarily want to just have fun. Some of them are old and they're by themselves in their basement. So let's keep these comms clean, okay? And let's get Foxtrot to move over and like.
But in your heart, you're a gamer sub. You want to be told what to do. You want to be bossed around.
Very
Harley,
accurate.
get that tight ass up to the A flag.
I do. I get someone will like sometimes I'll get in the game and the squad leader. I'll be like, squad leader, what do you need, sir? And he's like, we could use support. I'm like, yes, sir. And then I'm like, support. And he's like, just drop that right here. I'm like, yes, sir. And he's like, okay, kill yourself and redeploy as an engineer. I'm like, yes, sir. And I kill myself. I wait 10 seconds in a black screen, come back in as an engineer. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, drive me here. I'm like, cool. He's like, kill yourself, be a support. I'm like, yes, sir.
See, now that guy's a gamer.
That feels good. That feels so bad.
Dude, it's about winning.
And it's also like I like having a mission and doing a thing and being part of the team. Like when I played Battlefield, it was always healing.
If you're actually doing that and building those structures where he wants them, like that would be a massive help because no one else is doing that for him. Everybody else wants to be like, oh no, there's like 80 riflemen, one medic, and one guy who actually wants to go. Like I can't remember there's this one game where it's a war that's continuously going. Like it's going right now. It was going last week and it'll be going 2 weeks from
Israel
now.
and Palestine.
But it's a big like war game where you're like fighting for lines. It's continuous. And some people on the team have to like mine for the ore that's making the shells.
Oh yeah. It's like a cartoon game. Is it like a top down? Like it's
top
like
down.
Okay.
Yeah. And it looks so it reminded me of Squad with how everybody who played it seemed to be like 30s, 40s and like super into it. Because it's very important that some of your team are back home. It's like World War I or something where like you need people back home getting the ore and melting the tin.
You don't have
you
literally will not have artillery if your team has not been building artillery and it's not quite as fun as running around with a machine gun.
Right?
I don't want to do chores in a game. Like it's got to be really fun for chores.
Never played
Dude, you were ripping on Lethal Company because all it was chores. And it's true.
Pointless chores. Pointless chores.
Lethal Company. I have that game. It's so funny.
I played it with some buddies, and I had a good time. We got so smooth at it that it stopped like being fun, and it just became like, well, let's just have another successful runs until everyone has to go to bed. Like, and that's about it. And so everyone kind of lost interest. There's not enough to build towards. Because the stuff you can build towards that Kyle didn't know is like you can buy guns, you can buy teleporters, you can buy stuff to like get in and out and kill the monsters more effectively. But by the time you have the amount of money to do that, it's no longer needed. It's like, oh, I spend 700 points on the gun. The fact that you had 700 to spend means that there's now nothing more at stake. Unless everyone dies and you lose all your loot, which everyone's not going to die. Someone stays on the ship every time and reads the board and like tells you where loot is. So it's just not as fun. You like being that guy? Oh, that guy sucks. I never want to be that guy. I like running around exploring, sitting there looking at a fake monitor.
You know why I was that guy?
Why were you that guy? Because you're a natural leader.
No one else was doing it.
I need
That's the role
I'd rather us lose all of our loot than me stay on the ship. I will happily go out there and upset some bees and then pick up the beehive and take it back to the ship and hope the bees don't stay on the ship because that really ruins
There is a beauty in being the guy on the ship and your team is being chased by a monster and you being like, calling it here, guys, I'm so sorry, and closing the door.
That is valuable. You need that guy because in the moment I'm like, oh, Harley, you piece of shit. I could have made it back. And then afterward, it's like, yeah, he was right. I wasn't gonna make it.
Yeah,
like I was almost stung to death by those electric bees. But yeah, there wasn't enough.
Yeah, that game has a charm, and if you don't buy into the charm, then I would understand someone not liking it at all. In fact, I would understand them fucking hating that game.
I talked about it briefly, like last time we talked about Lethal Company. It would be a 10 times better game if you were doing anything other than collecting trash. if you were collecting weapons, if you were collecting blueprints, if you were collecting ancient artifacts,
pieces that assembled together to make one big thing.
Yeah, if you were trying to kill a couple of the rare monsters for pieces of them or something like that. Anything else, and all the rest of the skeleton of the game, the structure could stay the same. You could replace the trash finding with anything else, and it would be more fun. It's almost like just a stupid dev choice to make it about basically being anti-littering or whatever the fuck the core is. It's frustrating. And the items get old quickly. Oh, another engine. Oh, another light bulb. Oh, another can of soda. Who cares?